You know, when we think about what it means to be wealthy, we picture a name on a skyscraper, right? Or a fancy deed locked away. But what if I told you that for the really wealthy, that's the last thing they want? In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredible structures they build not just to own their assets, but to control them completely under the radar.
Okay, so right off the bat, we have to flip everything you think you know about ownership completely on its head. I mean, for most of us, owning a home is the dream, right? It's the goal. But in the world of big-time assets, slapping your name on something is like painting a massive target on your back. The real prize, the real trophy, it isn't the ownership. It's having all the control with none of the risk. So, you're probably asking, why? Why is owning something directly so dangerous? Well, it all boils down to one simple, terrifying idea, the single point of failure. And this right here is where the whole strategy kicks off. All right, let's talk about what most people do wrong. We call it the single bucket problem. Think about it. You've got your house, your car, your business, maybe some savings, and it's all just sitting there together in one big financial bucket. Now, let's say you own a great little coffee shop. It's doing really well, but then, boom, a lawsuit hits the business. Because everything is in that one bucket, that single lawsuit can literally drain everything you own. We're talking not just the shop, but your home, your retirement savings, the whole shebang. Gone. So, how in the world do you fix that? How do you protect yourself? Simple. You build a firewall. And listen, this isn't about hiding your money under the mattress. Nope. This is about smart, strategic separation. And it's probably the most important first step in this entire architecture. So, here's piece number one of that firewall, the operating company. Let's stick with our coffee shop example. This company is the shop itself. We'll call it Morning Brew LLC. It's the entity that signs the lease, pays the employees, sells the lattes. Think of it as your soldier on the front lines. It's built to take all the hits, to absorb all the risk. So if a customer slips on a spilled mocha, they sue Morning Brew LLC, not you. The risk stops right there. And if the operating company is the soldier on the front line, then behind it, safe and sound, sits the general. And that's the holding company. We'll call this one Brew Holdings. Now this company has exactly one job. Own Morning Brew LLC. That's it. Brew Holdings never talks to a customer, never grinds a coffee bean. It just sits back, protected by that legal firewall. So even if the absolute worst happens and a massive lawsuit takes down the coffee shop, the holding company, where the real value is completely safe, untouched. But here's the thing. Building a great defense, well, that's only half the game. Shielding your assets is absolutely critical, but a truly elegant structure does more than that. It's also an engine for efficiency. See, it's not just about playing defense. It's about playing some really, really smart offense with your money. Okay, let's get into the second part of this whole strategy, which is all about financial optimization. This is the stuff people don't often talk about, but honestly, it's where the real genius, the real financial engineering kicks in. And here it is. This might be the cleverest piece of the whole puzzle, the management company. So let's create another entity. We'll call it Brew Services, Inc. This company's job is to provide services, like marketing or accounting, to our coffee shop, Morning Brew LLC, and it charges a fee for those services. Now, here's the magic trick. That fee is a tax-deductible business expense for the coffee shop.
Now, let's be clear. This isn't some shady scheme to make money vanish. It's about legally redirecting it. You're moving profit from the high-risk coffee shop, Morning Brew LLC, over to the low-risk Brew Services, Inc. in the form of a totally legitimate fee. What does this do? It legally lowers the taxable profit of the coffee shop, and the whole time, that cash is just moving from one of your pockets to another, all inside this beautiful little ecosystem you've built.
Okay, so we've handled risk, we've tackled efficiency, but now we get to the final layer, the masterstroke of this entire architecture. Pure, simple anonymity. This is how you make yourself a ghost, all while staying completely in control.
And this all hinges on something called the hard target principle. It's a really simple but powerful idea. Imagine a predator in the wild. Is it going to chase the animal that's hard to catch or the one that's slow and out in the open? It's going for the easy meal, every single time. Well, the financial world is no different. If a legal predator can't even figure out what you own, they're probably not even going to bother coming after you. Anonymity itself becomes your best armor.
So how do you actually do this? It's all about layering the ownership. Let's say someone gets curious and looks up who owns your coffee shop on public records. They won't see your name, they'll just see another LLC. Okay, they think, I'll dig deeper. Who owns that LLC? Well, they'll find it's owned by a trust. Every single layer they peel back just leads to another legal entity, making the trail back to you, the actual person in charge, go completely cold.
All right, let's step back and put all these pieces of the puzzle together. Because what we're looking at isn't just a handful of clever legal tricks. It's a complete, unified philosophy on how to handle wealth in today's world.
And that whole philosophy really comes back to one core idea. The goal is not to see your name in shining lights on the side of a building. That's not a trophy, it's a target. The real power, the real status symbol, is having absolute control with zero exposure.
So to recap, first, you separate the risk. You build those firewalls. That means a problem with one asset can never, ever spread to another. Each one is safely locked away in its own little silo.
Second, you layer the ownership. By using things like LLCs and trusts, you deliberately sever that direct link between you and the asset. And that's how you create that bulletproof anonymity we've been talking about.
And finally, and this is the absolute key to the whole thing, control is centralized. You see, with all these layers, all these firewalls, it might look complicated from the outside, but at the very center, one person or one family is still pulling all the strings. You have 100% of the decision-making power with 0% of the direct public liability. And that is the very definition of control without exposure.
And that leaves us with one final big question. You see, this isn't just some abstract strategy for billionaires. It's a mindset. It's about being strategic, about being deliberate. It really forces all of us to rethink what it even means to own something. So, as you go out and build your own future, just think about what we've talked about today. How can you be smarter about protecting what you build? Because at the end of the day, it's not about what you own. It's about how you own it.